Parents, how did your child outsmart the entire school? Listen, my son Nico is 10 years old, skinny as a noodle, wears these thick glasses that make him look like a baby owl, and has this quiet voice that sounds like he's always telling secrets. Most people think he's shy. Nope, this kid is basically running psychological operations from the 4th grade. It all started with the school's new phone policy. Principal Hoffman, this guy who looks like a thumb with a mustache, decides no more phones during school hours. They installed these lock pouches, right? You put your phone in, it locks, only opens with a special magnet at dismissal. Kids were devastated. It was like watching puppies get their toys taken away. But not Nico. He sits at dinner that night, eating his mac and cheese, and goes, "The system has flaws." I'm like, "What system?" He adjusts his glasses like he's in a spy movie. "The phone prison system. I've identified 3 weaknesses. My husband almost choked on his water. Week 1, Nico starts bringing 2 phones to school. His real phone and some ancient flip phone I didn't even know we still had. Puts the flip phone in the pouch, keeps his real phone. When they do random checks, he shows the pouch, sealed tight. Teachers think he's the most obedient kid ever, but he doesn't stop there. He starts a whole underground phone network. Kids pay him $1 to store their phones in his backpack while they put decoys in the pouches. He's got burner phones from garage sales, old iPods, broken tablets, anything rectangular that looks phone-ish. One kid put a Pop-Tart in a case. Security never noticed. By week 3, he's expanded operations. He creates a messaging system using the school computers. Figured out if you save drafts in the shared drive but never send them, other kids can read them without triggering the network monitors. It's basically invisible texting. He names the files boring stuff like math practice sheet 47 and photosynthesis notes. Inside, full conversations about everything. The IT teacher, Mr. Patel, is walking around proud because network usage is down 80%. Meanwhile, every kid is chatting through draft documents titled Cell Division Worksheet. Nico even made a user manual disguised as a book report on Charlotte's Web. Then comes the masterpiece, the thing that made him a legend. The school announces a surprise phone inspection. They're going to check every pouch with metal detectors to make sure real phones are inside, not fakes. Word spreads during first period. Panic everywhere. Kids are sweating like they're smuggling diamonds. Nico stays calm. At recess, he implements what he later called Operation Switchback. See, he noticed the magnets that open the pouches are just regular magnets, same kind you can buy at hardware stores. He'd been collecting them for weeks, had like 30 hidden in his desk, his locker, everywhere. He distributes them like he's dealing cards in Vegas, shows kids how to open pouches, swap phones quick, reseal them. But here's the genius part. He times it during the fire drill. Oh yeah, he pulled the fire alarm, everyone's evacuating, teachers are counting heads, nobody's watching the pouches. In the chaos, every kid swaps their fake phone for their real one. Inspection happens. Every pouch has a real phone. Principal Hoffman is strutting around like he won the Super Bowl. See? Our system works. 100% compliance. Meanwhile, Nico's got the 30 magnets back in his backpack, ready for the reverse swap after inspection. But then karma or justice or whatever you want to call it shows up. The principal decides to call a random parent to brag about the successful inspection. Whose phone does he grab? Nico's. Except Nico forgot to delete a text that says, "Operation Switchback complete. They'll never know." I get called in. Principal Hoffman is red as a tomato, vein popping on his forehead. Nico's sitting there looking at his shoes, but I swear I see him smirking. The principal goes, "Your son orchestrated a complex conspiracy to undermine school policy." I'm trying to look disappointed, but honestly, I was impressed. My kid ran a better operation than most Fortune 500 companies. I said, "I'll handle this at home," but what I really meant was, I'm buying this kid ice cream. They ended up dropping the phone policy 2 weeks later. Not because of Nico officially, but because parents complained it was too strict. But every kid knows the truth. Nico broke the system from the inside. Now he's moved on to something about standardized testing and number 2 pencils. He won't tell me details, just says, "The less you know, the better." I found graph paper with complex diagrams under his bed. One section was labeled Phase 4, Total, Pencil Liberation. Last week his teacher emailed me. "Nico's a brilliant student, but I'm concerned he might be too interested in systems analysis." I wrote back, "He's 10. She replied, "That's what concerns me." Honestly, kid's probably gonna run a tech company or overthrow a government. Either way, I'm keeping his college fund ready and maybe a lawyer on standby. But between you and me, watching him take down that phone policy was the proudest moment of my life. Don't tell him that though. His ego's already planning world domination.